Howdy folks, this is Scott. Welcome back to Adrenaline Fueled Firearms. Talking more about AR-15 calibers. So, getting old, PP don't work so good no more, live in your mom's basement, drive a Corvette, name the stereotype. But you want to go big bore. Let's talk about it. So my PP is really tiny and I live in my mom's basement. So I own a 50 Beowulf. I almost hate to admit it because honestly, this 50 Beowulf side charger was one of my first uppers that I purchased from BCA. It was literally 6.5 Grendel 24-inch stainless steel barrel. Loved it, enjoyed it, said F it. This bad boy went on sale. I snatched it up, got myself some ammo, and gave myself a bunch of shoulder pain and a freaking headache. Yeah, when we're talking about recoil, we're talking 50 Beowulf. This monstrosity will wreck your effing shoulder in no time flat. This is literally, and I'm not going to try and tell you folks that I'm Superman, I'm a badass motherfucker, I've shot everything in the whole goddamn world and it's all bullshit, but I'm a man. Shot 300 Win Mag. Shot a bunch of other stuff. 50 Beowulf will fucking wreck your shoulder. Just embrace it. If that's what you want to put down range, for God knows whatever reason, you figure your reason out, you figure your excuse out, and then you lie to your friends about it as much as you want to, because this is America, and that's your goddamn business. So I own a 50 Beowulf. Kicks the living piss out of me, and I don't shoot it as much as I should to stay trained on it. Why? Because I would almost rather have someone step on my testicles than put a full 20 rounds to that son of a bitch at any given time. But you know what? If it's big, and it's ugly, and I want it to stop doing whatever it's doing that's annoying me, 50 Beowulf will friggin' get it done. Merry Christmas. I don't know that I've heard of anyone shooting an elephant with it, but you know what? If there was a mad bull elephant and I had one chance in the world to not get stomped on by that son of a gun, I would put a 50 Beowulf in it and keep my fingers crossed. Probably keep my fingers crossed that it chambers the second round in case I need it, because unfortunately when we talk about big bores we start getting into a problem with chambering rounds consecutively one after another, even after break-in. I had quite a bit of problem during break-in. It cleaned up for a little while. I got some different ammo and had a problem again, and then had some different ammo and had a problem again. I won't even lie to you, I'm not sure I put 100 rounds to this son of a bitch yet. Why? Because it fucking hurts. So let's move down a hair. Let's look at a couple other rounds. Because, you know, I can't remember whether the biggest round I've ever seen was actually like a 500 grain. But I know for a fact I've seen a 400 grain in 50 Beowulf. And these are 350s because I'm not that much of a man. But bull elephant, give me a 500 grainer all day long. Merry Christmas. By the way, if enough of you like and subscribe, I will totally take a trip to Africa. Not saying that I would go looking for a bull elephant, but I would definitely take your money and take a trip to Africa given half an opportunity. Just putting that out there. So like and subscribe. My personal favorite stepping down is not the same as some of my friends' personal favorites. Now, I have not shot it a lot. I want to shoot more of it so that I can give it a more subjective video and discuss it a little bit better, so I'm just going to gloss over it kind of briefly. The 458 SOCOM has the advantage of being a legit no bullshit developed by the Department of Defense, used very limitedly is my understanding, thus the SOCOM nomenclature. You will notice that it is not a straight wall cartridge, so it is not legal for use in hunting in all 50 states. If that's a consideration, guess what? We just put that one to bed. However, being a tapered wall cartridge, it does chamber better than 50 Beowulf, according to some friends of mine who have both. I'm not going to naysay that. If I find one cheap enough, I may eventually own a 458 SOCOM just to shoot it, try it out, and see what I think. I don't have recoil comparative numbers. to look at and talk about on 458 SOCOM. I did up a redneck jig, got a force meter, shot rifle lower with all my different calibers. So I've got some data off of my jig that may not agree with anybody else's stuff. But I call 50 Beowulf the 100% recoil number. Literally gave the biggest freaking numbers there were, because it's a fucking beast. Even off of a rifle lower, for fuck's sakes. 223 Remington wouldn't even register properly because it took more pressure to pull the trigger, overrode the reading from the actual recoil of the 223 in the jig. So, rednecks, what you gonna do? My personal favorite round is the 458 Bushmaster. You're not throwing a 400 grain chunk of lead downrange. You're not kicking yourself in the shoulder every time you pull the friggin' trigger. You're not putting like, God, what did that? Oh, wow. I want to say the 450 Beowulf cost me about $3 a round. Pretty sure that's what it cost me, or more. I haven't bought any for a while. I keep it stashed. Like I said, I don't like to shoot it. It hurts. Merry Christmas. I don't shoot because I'm a masochist. I shoot because I enjoy shooting, and if I don't enjoy shooting it, I'm not going to shoot it much. But with 50 Beowulf, it's just a thing. I don't know whether I haven't sold it because I'm kind of ashamed to let people know that it's so small that I've owned 50 Beowulf, or if I'm just in the back of my head convinced that maybe the zombie thing is going to be real with the really, really big monster zombies that I want to take out just in case. I mean, there was that Rain of Fire movie, maybe dragons. Hey, you know what? If I'm going to shoot a dragon on anything, 50 Beowulf. It's 400 plus grain round. If anything's going to slow up a freaking dragon, it's probably going to be 50 Beowulf. I like the 40-50 Bushmaster because it literally had 60% of the recoil number that the 50 Beowulf had. Shot off the same lower, both 16-inch barrels, roughly 60%. Now, this doesn't get into altering buffers, changing gas systems, changing the weight of BCGs, having more accessories, having a better bump stop shoulder pad set up, having one of many given accessories that will allow you to better mitigate the recoil of some of these huge big bore monstrosities out there. Because let's face it, when Stoner designed the AR, it was for 223 or 5.56 NATO, but it was for this. Okay, you tracking? So this was the intended purpose. Much like an old school 70s Vega came with like a 4 or 6 cylinder engine, but you could squeeze a big block in there. This. Let's just put these side by side. See this? Do you see this? This is a 450 Bushmaster versus 223. It's a very different bullet. Different goals, different displacements. It's just, I'm pretty sure the 450 Bushmaster won't go 300 meters downrange and knock down anything because it's probably not very flippin' accurate. This is not what you call a high BC bullet. This is more like what you might call a high BJ bullet, as in like sweet baby Jesus, that's a big bullet. I don't know. Depends on whether you consider that blasphemy or not. But the fact of the matter is, 450 Bushmaster doesn't have shoulder wrecking recoil. It does fall over occasionally. And it is not a 223. Shooting any of these big bores off of a bone stock AR lower setup is not going to give you the experience that shooting 223 Remington does. They're going to recoil more. They may have issues cycling depending on which one you've selected. Theoretically, the 50 Beowulf and the 450 Bushmaster, I would say in order, based on the experience of my friends and the fact that I don't have any 458 SOCOM experience. The 50 Beowulf tends to feed and eject the least favorably. The 458 SOCOM ejects the most favorably. And then it's the second biggest. So maybe you could look at the 450 Bushmaster kind of like the 40 Smith & Wesson of the big bore ARs. It's kind of a compromise. It's not the biggest, doesn't kick like an effing mule, doesn't feed quite as well as, all right. Sorry, I lost you guys. I think 40 Smith & Wesson feeds just fine. I don't personally shoot much 40 Smith & Wesson because, remember what we talked about at the beginning? Yeah, I shoot 45 ACP. So, there are differences in how they feed. Each one is going to require its own different, possibly proprietary magazines. Not exactly sure on bolt faces on all three. I think all three run off the same bolt face, but don't necessarily quote me on that one. One of the interesting aspects of the 458 SOCOM, and part of why I personally want to experience it a little bit more now, even after talking a bunch of trash on it. Shut up, Mike, I don't want to hear the I told you so's. I told you so's my line. 458 SOCOM is running a 458 bullet, which is 4570 bullet. Old lever action. Hornady, just a little while back, put out some sub-X's. You see where this is going? Yeah. I want to shoot some Hornady sub-X 458 into a gel block and just watch it go. Bleh! Why? Because I'm a sick, twisted son of a bitch. And that's probably why you folks keep tuning in. And I hope that my fellow sick, twisted sons of bitches out there will like and subscribe to these videos. Keep tuning in, listening to me run my mouth, and hopefully the weather gets nicer, it gets warmer and more fun to shoot. Maybe, just maybe, there will be actual shooting videos instead of just running my mouth videos. I know. Y'all are tired of it. I'm kind of tired of it myself. Like and subscribe. Keep coming back. Hope you enjoy everything I bring to you, including my Smart Remark t-shirts. Take care of yourselves, folks. Enjoy.